From Rydia to Riddler, nerds like a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, and that is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us on today's episode, we have Luke Field.
Hey, hi, how are you?
We have Amy Dallen.
Delighted to be back.
And Jay Washington.
I'd like to thank God Uber got me here on time.
No, I'm glad Uber got you here on time, too. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You two have played this game before. Jay, you have not. But the rules are very simple. If you're watching for the first time, here they are. These are a stack of incorrect statements about the things that you know and love. It's up to you to find what's wrong with it, buzz in and correct me. All your corrections have to be preceded with the phrase, actually. If you don't, I won't give you the point. And you can interrupt me at any point. So if you spot what's wrong, you can just jump right in. You don't have to wait for me to finish the question.
Okay.
That's it. Pretty simple. Do you all feel ready to start?
Heck yeah.
Jump right in, start the game. Cool, buzzers at the ready. Let's get going here. This first question is about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Although they started as adversaries, the Ninja Turtles eventually allied with the Punk Frogs, four medieval weapon-wielding punk aesthetic mutant frogs with somewhat analogous personalities to the Turtles, made up of Attila the Frog, Genghis Frog, Napoleon Bonafrog, and Rasputin the Mad Frog. Yes, Jay?
Actually, those are the Battletoads in which you're talking about.
Those are not the Battletoads.
Those aren't?
Oh,
my bad.
That's a great. We should have done that, but no. Those are not the Battletoads. Those are in fact the Punk Frogs.
Actually, they didn't start out as adversaries. They were just like cool the whole way through.
And immediately it's like, hey, we've got a lot in common. Maybe we shouldn't
You're
fight.
like surfers and you're punks. Like skateboard is a surfboard on the street. So.
Incorrect. No, they did. Yeah.
Actually, you made this whole thing up. This is not real.
It sounds crazy, but I didn't make it up. I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, you said they were like, they're punks, but they're, I know,
Keep going, Luke. Keep going.
I know that like, they're not, I think they're just like surfer dudes kind of things. They're not like punks or something like that. Like Napoleon Bonaparte has like a Hawaiian shirt on and like, they're more like surfer beach bum kind of guys, aren't
Luke,
they?
did you say actually?
Actually, yeah.
Great, good. Then yes, that's totally correct.
Okay.
I was hoping you would get there because you actually said surfing in one of your, when you were with your answers, like that's right, that's the thing that's wrong here. So yeah, they're called the Punk Frogs. Nothing punk about them. They're surfer dudes. Just a bananas concept all the way around.
I think Napoleon Bonafrog was like a horned toad or like something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. I know exactly. I can perfectly picture it.
I know that he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but come on.
I just want to say you instantly sent people down the YouTube rabbit hole. Like,
That's where I'm going next.
Yeah, I must know more about the Punk
How did
Frogs.
I miss this?
Well, that point will go to Luke for identifying that the Punk Frogs are in fact surfers. Next question here is about Back to the Future. Marty McFly takes a big risk hopping into Doc Brown's plutonium-fueled DeLorean time machine, but Marty becomes the first of several time travelers in the Back to the Future series when he's able to get the DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour and jump from 1985 to 1955. Yes, Luke?
Actually, he's not the first. The dog goes first.
That's correct, yeah. That's exactly what we're going for.
Yeah.
The dog is technically the first time traveler in the series, not Marty. Is this fucked? like
we shot dogs into space.
That's true, but like, wasn't that? I guess
the whole
was that
theory
dog's personal? Was that his dog?
No, well, remember the dog's whole thing was he never knew he time traveled because he had him skip a minute. It was he left and then technically came back to him. So everything was instantaneous.
But what if he fucked up?
It works out because he didn't get turned inside out or
He didn't get
something.
split inside out.
He didn't get
blow up. He was just sitting in the car. First of all, the dog was sitting behind the driver's seat, just like, well, this is normal in Doc Brown's car.
Yeah.
Just literally drove off. The car drove by himself. He stayed calm, which nobody mentions that the dog was just like, well, this is just Tuesday. And just stayed calm and then disappeared and just was like, well, wow, that was a really big flash of light. Okay.
If you were just testing a car, right? Insane to use a dog. I mean, like we've designed a new car, like let's get this going. But then also like, if that had fucked up, like if it wasn't like just a minute in the future, or if it was any other period beyond that, it's just like a dog in a car suddenly appears and
You have identified for the first time the sequel movie I would absolutely watch, which is, of course, what happened to the dog during that minute.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, pirates,
Because remember,
future
nothing
aliens.
is supposed to be there in that parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, it's just a minute, ain't shit gonna change. what happens if the future, somebody sends somebody back to that minute, Einstein has a head-on fucking collision.
That's
and
true.
Now the whole space-time continuum is just screwed.
Or if something went wrong, it's like he thought that dog was only gone for a minute, but actually like that dog was off doing adventures and just came back a minute later.
Just had a hat on.
Yeah. All right, well, that point will go to Luke, and we'll move on to our next one. This is about V for Vendetta, the comic. The Guy Fawkes mask-wearing vigilante V may not have any superpowers, but that doesn't stop him from taking on England's fascist dictatorship under Norsefire, a white Christian supremacist political party. Though we know he was once a concentration camp prisoner, V's true identity is never revealed to the reader, allowing the anti-hero to serve as a kind of everyman.
Actually, I feel like that's not the name of the political party.
It is. It's Northfire, yeah.
Actually, he does have superpowers.
That's correct.
Yeah. He is very pedantic. I don't know. I don't know what his superpower is, but yeah.
Weird. Right? And Amy's furrowing her brow.
No, is his like tremendous memory considered a superpower?
He in fact has super strength and a couple other enhancements. He's sort of like
he was experimented on.
He was experimented on, and he sort of gained some powers from that. But it's not like a huge part of the story. But it is a little strange just within the context of the story where it is just like, I could be anyone. I am you. Like, I am the people. And it's like, don't you have super strength?
Like, you technically are not the people anymore.
Doesn't that like undercut the everyman argument like just a tiny bit?
Follow me, the Uber man.
Yeah. Well, once again, that point will go to Luke.
Pure stab in the dark.
Hey, a stab in the dark can still get you a good solid point. This one, our next question is a fan submission. So this was a question sent in to us by one of our viewers. Thank you very much for sending in this question.
Here we go.
Let's see how we do. This was sent to us by Hefty Lefties. Thank you, Hefty Lefties.
That was my nickname in middle school.
The 5 primary colors in Magic the Gathering are red, white, blue, black, and green. Each color corresponds to a type of basic land card. Mountains for red, plains for white, water for blue, swamps for black, and yes, Luke.
Actually, blue is islands.
That's correct, Luke. Come on now.
That's the only thing I really know a lot about was Magic the Gathering.
I felt all with smugness. Actually, blue, islands.
Water?
You said land. Water is definitively not land.
Oh, God.
It does raise the question, if islands are sort of like the source of blue mana, how big does an island have to get before it's like, that's not an island anymore?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Can continents count?
Yeah, can you get blue mana from Australia?
Only Australia.
Yeah.
Australia is like an island slash country slash
What happens
kangaroo home.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I do wonder what the limit, like, does Manhattan count? Can you get blue mana from Manhattan?
Yes, you could. Yeah, I think you could.
I think you could.
What happens if you tap Manhattan?
Yeah. What's the mana type for Manhattan?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a blue. It's definitely an island. I think it's also black as a swamp because it's disgusting. But and I say that with love. I lived there for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the weird thing too in Magic is that there are creature islands. Like there's like
Krakoa, the living island.
Kind of, like stuff like that. Yeah,
Island fish Draconius.
Yes.
To say, know nothing about Magic. Just here playing along.
Well, let me tell you, Jen.
Just here,
buckle up. I got something to say.
Just here learning.
Yeah.
Well, we will move on to our next question, which is our first shiny question of the game.
Ooh.
Shiny questions like shiny Pokemon are worth the same amount of points, just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. This is a game that we're calling Super Saying. So on the other side of this board, you're gonna see 6 characters from pop culture, and along the side there'll be a bank of catchphrases, basically, and it's up to you to match the correct speech to the correct character. This particular one is sort of like announcing attack power, something you would say before, something a character might say before they attack someone. Whoever can get the most correct will get the 1 point for this round. All right, go ahead and flip it over.
Here we go. I'm locked.
All right, Luke is locked in.
I think I'm good.
So we'll start with Luke, and we'll
All right, here we go.
What you got?
Well, I'll start with the two that I'm confident in. Austin Powers does. Oh, no! I judo chopped it. Austin Powers does judo chop, and then the Colossus Wolverine combo is the fastball special. I have no idea who this guy is, but he looks like a sailor. Narwhal Blast. This young lady says Razzle Dazzle. The Powerpuff Girls. This is the cutest one, so I'm gonna say Gum Gatling Gun. And this guy probably has more than 2 fists, so he looks stacked. So I say 1,000-hand destruction fist for that guy.
Great. Amy, let's hear what you got.
All right. My same 2 points of confidence, judo chop, and of course the fastball special.
Everyone knows judo chop.
Now, I know this is One Piece, but I have no idea what anyone says in it. It seems like the kind of world that Gum Gatling Gun would come from.
Okay.
And this guy, again, does seem like he would have a 1,000-hand destruction fist. The Powerpuff Girls don't remember a lot of catchphrasing going on there, so I'm going to go with Razzle Dazzle for them. And Narwhal Blast is my guess for this girl who is possibly Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Is Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Looks real cute. I'm not sure.
Very good.
These are my guesses.
And Jay, let's see what you got.
Alrighty, so I did judo chop for Austin Powers.
All right.
My man who looked like a farmer who'd been through the struggle, I gave him a 1,000-hand destruction fist. Shorty with the rattle, I gave her Razzle Dazzle. Of course, Colossus throwing the hell out of Wolverine to be a fastball special. I remember the Powerpuff Girls, so Gum Gatling Gun. Mojo Jojo was my dude. And my man who looks like he's been through the struggle and through depression and through a divorce, I gave him the Narwhal.
Guy's definitely been divorced.
Is that what happened to his sleeves?
Yeah, he lost him in a divorce.
Yeah.
You got to give up everything.
Yeah.
Sleeves too.
I get your sleeves. Please, Cynthia, don't take those from me.
These are my
I
favorite
get 50% of everything you own, including your shirts.
My arms get so cold.
These are my favorite sleeves.
Well, Jay, I think you've got 2 correct here. Luke, you have 3. Amy, you got all of these
Hey,
correct. So
amazing.
that point will go to Amy.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll do.
I mean, yes, obviously.
We'll do a quick rundown. Everyone got judo chop and fastball special. You're correct. That is from One Piece. That's Gum Gatling Gun. Narwhal Blast is from Star vs. Force of Evil. Razzle Dazzle from Powerpuff Girls, and 1,000-hand destruction fist is from Fist of the North Star.
That's what that is.
1,000 fists of the. Well, there's no denying I'm a big dumb idiot who makes mistakes. Here are some of our favorite corrections from you, the viewers.
At Ian in a Hammock says, when Siobhan said that Star Trek Discovery was the first Trek show to portray a gay relationship, she was wrong. That honor actually goes to Deep Space Nine, whose Mirror Universe episodes depict an alternate version of Ezri Dax and Kira Nerys in a relationship. I will give you 1 point in a Mirror Universe. And corrections from the Dropout Discord. Sarah Stars says, in the holiday episode, Trap said he has a DC Comics question, when actually the C in DC stands for comics. It's Detective Comics, not Detective Comics comics. Ooh, I love this, Sarah Stars. That's 1 point for you. Chaotic says, Trap said that the lyrics from Prince Ali were from the fast part at the end, when in fact they are the background vocals of the veiled women, while their house mother sings the main Prince Ali handsome as he Ali Blah lines. Well, Chaotic, I've never had a friend like you. That is 1 point for you.
We will move right along here to our next question.
I gotta get 1 at least.
We'll get one. There's plenty of game left.
You're lying
Don't
in
worry
wait.
about
I can tell.
it. Yeah.
Me too.
Harry Potter, Assassin's Creed, and Full Metal Alchemist have all made nods to Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code by including references to his character Nicolas Flamel. He even appeared as a full character in The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Actually, I feel like Nicolas Flamel comes from a source way pre-Dan Brown.
That is correct.
Nice.
Can you be more specific?
Is he a real legendary alchemist? Am I making things up?
No, that's correct. He was a real person, and this thing like claimed to have invented / found the Philosopher's Stone. But you know, whatever. Like, that's clearly.
He could have. We don't know.
Yeah. Like I guess no proof that it didn't, but clearly bullshit. But yeah, a real person who just like a lot of different pieces sort of taken to that sort of fun bit of real world lore that's like, oh, magic is real. Like, let's make this a character in our stories. At that point, we'll go to Amy, and we will move on.
No doubt about it, fall is busy, but HelloFresh recipes save you time that you would otherwise spend meal planning, shopping, and chopping, so you can get back to what really matters. Playing video games or something. And it won't just save you time. HelloFresh will save you money too. It's over 30% less expensive than shopping at the grocery store. And with pre-portioned ingredients, you can be sure you're not spending money on food that will wind up in the trash. And if you want to mix things up, it's a snap. HelloFresh gives you the flexibility you need to customize your order on the app within minutes. Change your delivery day, your dietary preferences, your plan size, or skip a week if you want to. Look, I'm the kind of person who likes to go all out on dinners. I'll plan a menu that's way too big and way too ambitious, and I'll spend half my evening in the kitchen. When I tried HelloFresh, it gave me a little food vacation. It kept me grounded, made sure that I was able to cook delicious food quickly and easily, and actually have some time in the evening to do other things, other than cooking and cleaning. If you want to try it, go to hellofresh.com/actually14 and use the code actually14 to get 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's right, 14 free meals plus free shipping just by going to hellofresh.com/actually14 and using the code actually14. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Here's a wrestling question. I don't know if we have wrestling fans on the couch.
Maybe.
A little bit.
Maybe it depends.
It depends.
on what years you're talking about.
Well, I guess we'll find out. The WWE Hall of Fame, formerly the WWF Hall of Fame, was originally created to posthumously honor wrestling legend Andre the Giant. Since then, more than 100 other wrestlers have been inducted, including Hulk Hogan, Rowdy Roddy Piper,
Actually, it's always been a hall in Stamford, Connecticut at the headquarters of WWE. It was never just to honor Andre the Giant, but it was to honor a whole bunch more people. I know this because I'm a pro wrestler for 20 years, and also I have a bunch of friends in the WWE. It was never just to honor Andre, it was to honor all the legends. The show is when they started making it to honor Andre and all that. They made a statue and put it in front of it. Then they made a battle royal about it.
Well, Jay, that is not the correction we have, but you sound extremely confident. You really know what you're talking about. We've got our fact checker checking.
very
I'm looking it up. Yeah, it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Sounds like you know it.
I am inclined to give you the point, but there is something else wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll finish the question,
Okay.
and we'll see if you can spot the other thing that we intended to be wrong here.
Okay.
Cool. Since then, more than 100 other wrestlers have been inducted, including Hulk Hogan, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Trish Stratus, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Chyna, and The Rock. There are also celebrity inductees, including Snoop Dogg, Drew Carey, and Donald Trump.
Actually, the Hall of Fame wasn't started until it became the WWE. It wasn't around when it was the WWF.
Ooh, it's a fun guess, but no,
No?
that's not
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Actually, the number of wrestlers inducted is under 100.
Incorrect. No,
so
no.
for well over 100.
Trish Stratus, Chyna,
All of those are in.
The Rock, Stone Cold.
Actually, The Rock is not in the Hall of Fame.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
Isn't it?
The Rock's not in yet.
Yeah, The Rock is not in the Hall of Fame.
As a person who knows nothing about this, I am equally shocked, though.
I don't know why
Even I know who that is.
Because I thought about him like
'Cause he rules.
I'm like, you would think because they put Austin in, because they put Hogan in, everybody else. You would think they would put The Rock in.
Since they
The
put
Rock-
Drew Carey in, you would
The
think
Rock,
that maybe.
The Rock won't go in until he officially retires, and he has not officially retired yet.
Is that a rule you have to retire before
You're
you're in the Hall of Fame?
supposed to retire.
Got it.
You're technically supposed to. Like Flair retired the night after he was inducted.
He's the woo guy,
Who's the who?
right?
Yeah.
That's what-
Woo! Yeah, that's right. I was
Playing
like,
along.
the woo guy. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, The Rock isn't in as of yet. So that was it. Yeah, The Rock isn't
Cool.
in.
Well, you got the one we intended, and probably also something else too. So that point's definitely going to you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done.
But yeah, I've been a pro wrestler for 20 years.
Yeah,
so.
tell us more about that.
I've been a wrestler. I started in Chicago with Windy City Pro Wrestling and the IUWA. I recently got back in the ring about 4 or 5 months ago. And
After
so
how long?
I took a 5-year absence from the ring.
Whoa.
Because my stand-up career started happening and my acting career started happening. I got a chance to do a couple of good big movies and TV shows. But then I saw All Elite Wrestling, well, actually just All In, the pay-per-view, and I got reinvigorated to the business. So got back in the ring, started training again, down 150 pounds, got in the best shape of my life. And
Damn.
now it's happening.
That's incredible.
How does
That's
it?
fabulous.
Yeah, that's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
I've learned some new things. I knew how to do moonsaults. I knew how to do all this other stuff. So it's just remembering
What's
how to
a
do
moonsault?
a backflip off the top rope.
What?
So yeah, just doing all this crazy. Yeah, I can do all this crazy stuff. I've dove through the ropes. I've taken steel chair shots to the head.
I also
That's
love
amazing.
how you started this question. You're like, I don't know who here might be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I might have a good shot at this. This guy's fucking jumping off the top ropes. It's like,
Do
Jesus
a
Christ.
moonsault right now.
No, I can barely stand up most times. You know?
We'll move on to our next question here. This is
I feel good. I knew something about something.
You
I
got
know Magic the Gathering, but I know pro wrestling. All
yeah.
right.
Well, we are going to take a 180-degree turn from wrestling and talk about Neopets.
I don't know. I think I can find a lot of similarities.
The website Neopets was originally launched in 1997 and featured a game where players could explore the world of Neopia and collect and care for digital pets called Neopets. Neopets has evolved over the years, adding new features like the ability for the Neopets to have their own pets called pet pets, and pet pets can have pets too called mini pets. Yes, Luke.
Actually, is there an element of this game where you have like a physical like stuffed animal? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but like you buy a stuffed animal at the store, it has like a code on it, and then you type it in, and like so you have like almost like a totem of your.
That's cool as hell, but that isn't
It's not it?
this. No.
Actually, if my hazy memories of really loving Neopets are correct, you could have the pets, but I don't remember actually being able to explore anything. It was set in the world of Neopia, but it was just the pet thing.
Our fact checker's giving me a shake of the head. No,
All right.
no.
I was missing a whole section of that
Yeah,
site.
you never.
I was stuck on the
in
stupid
the
pet.
backyard.
Jay, you want to take a stab here?
Actually, it was actually you own mini pets, and the mini pets had pets.
It's flipped around. No, that's incorrect.
Yeah, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Actually, the pets own you because pet ownership is a burden.
This got real quick.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and call this here, so no one got this one. The incorrect here is that we said that pet pets can have pets too, called mini pets. Pet pets can have pets, but pets are called pets.
No.
Of course they are.
Of course
Yeah.
they are.
What were we thinking? We are
You know what?
fools.
When you read it, I was like, he's gonna say pets, and then you were like mini pets, and I was like, oh, well, never mind. That
That's
was
a
in my
better
head.
idea. You should
That
call
was,
it
it was in my head. Like,
Truly, that is the joke answer to this question that is actually real.
That is actually real.
Yes. Yeah.
In 1997,
I
I
gotta
was
go.
already looking at porn on the internet, so I have no idea what the hell this is.
I was like, wait, this could be used for a lot more than Neopets.
Yeah.
Shouts out to LimeWire.
Well, we will move on to our next question, and this is our second shiny question of the game. This is a game called Fictionary. So we're going to give you the name of a monster or creature from folklore or something and ask you to draw this to the best of your ability. I'm not going to be judging your drawing on quality, so it's not like, oh, you've got the best drawing. I'm mainly just looking to see if you have like the key identifying features of this thing. To be like, cool, you know what this should look like, regardless of your drawing ability. Cool?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Your creature is Groot Slang.
Groot slang?
Groot Slang.
Can we ask you to spell it?
Yes. GrootSlang.
Well, that didn't help at all.
Yep, that sounds like Groot Slang.
I've completed my joke answer.
Amy, is that you locking it in as well?
Yes.
Great. Cool. So we'll go down the line and as before, we'll go down. And then at the end, I'll kind of say who got.
Well,
the
mine
closest.
tells a story.
Yes.
So this is the Groot slang.
Okay.
And it's basically Groot with a snake tail.
Okay.
Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. And he has a friend who is Sprocket Possum. But that's what the Groot slang is. It's Groot with a snake tail.
It's like a little like off-brand Groot and Rocket.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Amy, let's see yours.
I too am familiar with the Groot slang.
Oh, cool.
So mine is more of a dragon with bat wings, but it also has a long snake tail.
Okay.
Because it sounds like it has long in the name.
Sure. All right, Jay. Let's see your Groot slang.
Well, I didn't have enough time to complete what I was trying
oh, sure. I understand.
But I did what is
That's
the consideration,
incredible.
consideration of a swole-ass dragon with horns, a long tongue, and wings. And I also signed it. Y'all want to go ahead and see. So this is
Very good.
was sitting there doing for the hot second. So that's my variation of Groot slang.
Does yours also have like a little snake tail, or is it
It
like
has a
genie
snake tail.
thing?
It has snake tail, long tongue, horns, wings. It's got strong ass claws and everything.
Yeah,
so
there are like a shocking number of similarities between your drawings. And here's the thing, like actually one of the elements I was looking for was a snake tail. That is like that is an element of the Groot slang. You all kind of got like halfway there. None of you had the other half of the Groot slang. But let's take a look at what the Groot slang should look like here. There it is. A
my
Groot slaying.
God.
It is a giant snake with the head of an elephant.
That thing is not mobile. Are you look at that?
That's too much. There's
That
too
thing
much
look
going
like
on there.
it's cursed.
It looks.
That is so cool. What is this? Can I read its adventures?
Yeah, well, it's a salt.
It's a South African.
South African.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's
A South African what?
it's a legendary creature. It lives in caves and it
Of
covets.
course it lives in a fucking cave.
If that lived out in the world, people would shoot it on sight.
Yeah.
Do you understand how
Fuck
much
this thing. Fuck this thing
You
hard.
see how much those tusks are worth?
They covet diamonds and precious jewels. I think there's
Okay, that would sound
Okay,
right.
I think there's an
dragon.
element of sort of early early colonialist cryptid thing going on here, where it's like oh we're people coming in exploring. It's like there's crazy animals out there,
Yeah, that
man.
makes
Like
sense.
there's this thing and it will if you go in the wrong place, it'll fucking kill you.
Can we get a Build-A-Bear Groot slang?
Yeah.
That would be the dopest thing ever.
I would love that. Real cute versions of these monsters. Well, I would be inclined to give you each half a point. That would even things out anyway, and we don't have the ability to award half a point. So instead, I'm just gonna say no points for that one, which is
keep that half
effectively the
point in
same
my
as 1
head.
point for everyone. But it really feels like we've tapped into some sort of Jungian thing here of just everyone's yes, the Groot slang is part snake. We all know this deep in our
We all had
subconscious.
that. I was like, yes.
Hey, I never pretended to be perfect, and I know I made some mistakes. If you want to correct me, you can do that by tweeting at @UmActuallyShow or by going to the Dropout Discord to the Actually Corrections channel. If we like what you have to say, we might feature it in a future episode. Well, we'll move on to our next question here. This is about the TV series Legion. In the Marvel TV series Legion, Clockwork's psychiatric hospital houses several powerful mutants who have been diagnosed with mental illnesses, including Sydney Barrett, who has the ability to swap bodies with another person by touching them, Carrie Loudermilk, who shares a body with a person also named Carrie, who can temporarily manifest as a separate physical entity, and the protagonist David Haller, who is a powerful psychic with reality warping capabilities. Yeah, Jay.
Actually, all of them don't have mental illnesses. They're not in their hospital because they have mental illnesses.
They are, that's stretching it a little bit. They at least have been they're there because someone has diagnosed them, whether or
Okay.
not they do or don't,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, Carrie Loudermilk is not in the hospital.
That's correct.
That's what it's. Carrie's not. Carrie and Carrie aren't in the hospital.
Carrie's not in the hospital. When we see Carrie there, it is only as a false reality manifested by the Shadow King that took on the appearance of Clockworks, but Carrie.
The Shadow King, yes.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I don't know
That's
why.
me with magic. I'm
That
like,
was
yeah,
thinking. I was
obviously
like, why am I
Shadow.
thinking Carrie and Carrie when it should have just been Lenny?
Yeah.
In my brain, I was just like, why don't I remember that part?
Yeah, that's the Carrie and Carrie are not in the hospital.
Yeah. To be fair, it's kind of shitty for us to ask any trivia questions about this show because it's so hard to tell what is real and what is not real on that
And you
show.
literally have to sit and watch this show. You can't do anything,
Yes.
even though it's done, but you couldn't do anything else. Because if you did anything and took your eyes off the screen for a minute, something happened that was integral to the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, I missed every goddamn thing.
And you don't always know what is integral and what is just it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yep, yep.
It's
That's usually the most important part.
yes, for sure.
Damn, I forgot it was Carrie and Carrie.
Carrie and Carrie. Well, that point will go to Amy.
Feels very fair. I definitely think I earned it.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, again,
Absolutely.
You earned that one.
You got it. Here we go. Here's a comics question. The scouts of the comic Lumberjanes attend Miss Kiunzela Thisquin Pennyquickquill Thistle Crumpet's Camp for Girls, where they earn scout badges. Yes.
Actually, hardcore lady types.
That is correct. It is no longer the camp for girls. It is the camp for hardcore lady types. It was at some point, but it's changed at the start of it.
Crossed out.
Did you notice I just looked at you as soon as he
Waiting.
started reading? Because I knew.
Yo, you gotta read Lumberjanes.
That just goes to Amy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, you were on top of that.
Everything you said was another language to me. I had no idea.
And
Man,
I
the moment
got
you
the
started with
patches
that.
The first year they had them at Comic-Con because I'm a reasonable adult human. But they're very cool.
Big Lumberjanes fan.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Great. Well, yeah. That point will go to Amy. It sounds like a fun camp. It sounds like a fun place to go.
They fight monsters. It's
Fight monsters.
amazing.
I'm a total sucker for anything like monster of the week in general. Where it's just like cool. We're gonna any Groot's like
There's
shit like that.
probably been a Groot slang in that comic. I need to catch up.
There has been a Groot slang in that.
Has there really?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I put it both.
Well, no one, told me,
Oh.
no one told me this was the Lady Jane
When does
themed
the Groot
episode.
slang
This was all a
I'll
purpose. This
check
all
for
had a
you.
purpose to get back to this.
That's amazing.
Very cool. Well, there we go. This will bring us to our last shiny question of the game. This is a game called Spelling Bee.
Oh, right.
Now, spelling in English is hard enough. Spelling in sci-fi and fantasy is damn near impossible. There's extra letters, there's apostrophes, there's all kinds of stuff to trip you up. So I'm going to give you the name of a character or a thing from sci-fi or fantasy, and first person who can buzz in and spell it correctly will get the point.
All right.
Cool. We're gonna do a character this time. Your character is GEORDI LaForge. Luke is buzzed in first.
GEORDI LaForge.
Mhm.
GEORDI space LAFORGE.
That I'm going to say is that's close enough. There's an extra space after the
law?
The law, but I'm gonna allow for spaces there. That is correct. That's what we're going for. So
you.
point
Thank you.
for
Thank-
Luke
thank
there.
you.
I was
He
really.
was named after a fan.
Oh, that's
Is that
so
true?
nice.
It's not the exact name, but it's like a tribute to a Star Trek fandom.
Do you know any that's I don't know. That's just super
I
interesting.
wish I had more details on that, but I.
Okay. That's super cool. I like that a lot.
There's something about Star Trek because I recently watched a couple episodes of Next Generation. I don't think it's very good. But look, there's an episode where
I can
Worf
hear a
plays-
million
where
keys
Worf plays a
clapping right now.
cowboy. There's an episode where Worf plays a cowboy. But what I love about it is that they.
You didn't like Michael Dorn as a cowboy?
I would look. It was interesting and creative, I guess. I'm so sorry. But there was a great episode. Relics is like one of the classic TNG episodes, right,
Yeah.
where they bring back Scotty. And I do love how this show has a history of recognizing the fans and celebrating the fans. So that's really nice
That
that
episode
they.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Scotty and GEORDI LaForge acting together, solving a puzzle together. You know.
Fun. Amy,
In the sphere, right?
you seem to be a big Next Generation fan.
Yeah,
Fine,
I
it's
felt
fine.
shamed.
Yeah.
I felt
Been all in your space. Like, you just gonna say that? Like, you really just gonna say it?
Some of it's silly, right? Some of it is
Yeah.
very silly. Okay.
I think maybe that's some of the charm for people is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Best season
silliness.
finale of any show in history. Series finale.
I was saying, yeah, because they had a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, that point will go to
Okay,
Luke.
thanks.
And
Probably the person who knows about Star Trek the least. You know?
you're like, I got this right, but I don't even really care for this that much.
Yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you don't care about no fucking Jordan. The reading rainbow guy? You serious?
That guy, come on.
Well, this will bring us to our last question of the game. This question, as always, concerns real-life skills, and we have a special prop for this one. So keep this flipped over. In fact, you can go ahead and flip it over, and I'll read it while you look at it if you want. Nothing says professionalism like a well-designed business card. When creating a printing layout for business cards, all text should be within the safety line along with most of your graphics. However, if you want your graphics to go to the edge, they need to extend all the way to the trim line. Lastly, it's important to leave the bleed area blank since this section is cut off and not supposed to be visible in the final product. Amy.
Actually, you don't want to leave, the bleed area is the thing that you just described the trim line as being for.
Yes, that is a little awkwardly worded, but yes,
Yes.
you are correct.
There's a version of that made more sense,
Yes.
but yeah.
That's what you.
It took a second for me to be like, what? Wait, what did I
Because I
say?
was
that
thinking the
didn't
same
say?
thing as he was saying it. I was like, wait, that's the bleed.
Yeah.
The bleed area is probably going to be cut out, but make sure there's stuff there in case the trim line has been missed.
That's specifically what we're looking for. Yeah.
And this
if
was
you
the
want
first
to go
thing I learned how to do on Photoshop. So yeah, I should know this.
I was gonna say the same thing, so I should also.
No.
I might have to forfeit my real life points though, because I only know this because of comics.
This is maybe the nerdiest real life skills that we could ask.
Oh, I've been learning Photoshop and it's from comics.
Yeah, this whole game is tainted.
This is tainted.
Secret nerd answers.
We'll still give you the point. That point will go to Amy. And what is our final score here? 5-5-1. So that means Luke and Amy, you are tied
Hey,
for first.
But you could jump off the top rope, my brother.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
you got to think that
It's so cool.
Jay, it was a pleasure to have you. You look like you're ashamed here. You shouldn't be ashamed. Look, the best points are the good times you have together, right? Isn't that the real
That is
treasure?
so consoling. you lost, but you had fun, didn't you? I did.
What was your?
You just
what
look
was,
so sad.
Oh, what
sorry.
was your ring name?
Originally, it was just the Urban Gladiator Trauma, but since I came back, it's still the Urban Gladiator Jay Washington.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that is it for our game. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. Join us next time for even more pedantic corrections here on Actually. Bye.